Erev Shabbat Shalom Rabotai. We're continuing with our Mishna Yomi Masechet Berachot. We are coming to the end. We're up to Perek Tet Mishnah Gimel. Now the Mishnah discusses further joyous occasions that warrant a blessing. Bana Bait Chadash, if someone built a new house, V'kana Kelim Chadashim, or he bought new things. Kelim could mean vessels, utensils, or any household items, such as clothing, as long as it brings joy to you. Omer, you say, Baruch Ata Hashem, Elokeinu Melech HaOlam, She'echianu v'kiyimanu v'gianu lazman hazeh. Bless you, Hashem, our God, King of the universe, who has kept us alive and has sustained us and has brought us to this season. Now, this is a blessing we recite because we acquired something that's joyous for us. The Rav writes, now, Kelim Chadashim, even though it says new vessels, the Mefarshim explain, it doesn't have to be newly made, it's just new to you. So even if you buy a second-hand item or a house that somebody already lived in, you still recite the blessing because it's new to you. Likewise, the Rav writes on Mishnah, when it says you bought new vessels, new items, it could be ben yesh lo keyatze ben, ben en lo keyatze ben, bevech shechianu. It could be the fifth one you have. You bought a new suit. You have 100 other suits, right? And you have the same style suit, same company. Still, if it brings you joy, recite shechianu. And the Mefarshim also explain, when it says you built a new house, it refers to when you move into the new house. If it's just you living there, that's when you recite Shechianu. But if it's you and your family, now it's a joyous occasion, not just for one. For many, you say, Baruch Ata Hashem Elokeinu Melech HaOlam, Hatov HaMetiv, the one who is good and performs good, like we learned in the previous Mishnah. The Mishnah continues regarding what we explained, blessing over good news and bad news. One recites the blessing on bad news, even upon hearing bad news in which there is some good. For example, right, we said when there's, God forbid, bad news, you recite Dayan HaEmet. Now, what if this bad news has some good in it as well? For example, if water flooded someone's field and destroyed all his crops, you have to say Dayan HaEmet, even though the water will improve your field for future planting. Because the fact that you lost your this year's harvest, entire harvest, now you have to recite the Bacha, even though there is good in this as well. Because since it was washed out, it's strengthening my land for the following years. Likewise, Va'ala Tova Men Hara, one recites Hatov HaMetiv when he hears good news, even though there is some bad inside. For example, the Rav gives a very interesting case. A person finds a valuable treasure, you have to recite Hatov HaMetiv, even though the king might punish you for not claiming to him, for not reporting your findings. Right now, it's a reason to be happy and deserves the blessing of Hatov HaMetiv, even though it could bring you problems later on. Maybe a good example would be also the lottery. The Mishnah ends off discussing a person may not pray to Hashem to change events that already happened. If a person calls out to Hashem in prayer about the past, it's a useless prayer. Ketzad, what's an example of praying to Hashem regarding something that happened already in the past? A person's wife is pregnant, and he prays, Hashem, may it be your will that the baby will be a boy. This is a useless prayer. Why? Because the gender of the baby has already been decided. It's true that Hashem can override laws of nature, change the gender, like we have by Leah. Dinah was supposed to be Yosef. Leah prayed, it was changed to Dinah. Right? It's true, but a person should not pray for miracles. Gemara Berachot, page 68 says a person should not pray for miracles. Now, again, they speak about if how much into the pregnancy the woman is, 40 days, within 40 days, past 40 days. But this is the example. A person is traveling, right? He's coming into the entrance of the city, and he hears screaming in the city. And he says, it should be Hashem's will that these people screaming are not part of my house. You see smoke rising, God forbid it, coming from the city. You say, Hashem, please, it shouldn't be my house. That's a prayer in vain. Why? Because God forbid if it's already your house burning, Hashem, it shouldn't be my house. It is your house already. Therefore, you cannot pray for such things. Your prayer will not change the fact. That is the end, Rabotai, of Mishnah Gimel. Mishnah Daled discusses now, a person must pray when he is in need of Siyata Deshmaya, divine assistance, help from Hashem. And the Mishnah gives examples of dangerous situations that warrant this type of prayer. Hanichnas likrach, Someone who is traveling, he enters a city, mitpalel shtaim. He recites 2 prayers. Achat b'chnisato v'achat b'tziato. One when he enters the city, and one when he leaves the city. Because both times you're crying to Hashem for protection. And the Rav explains, what do you pray? B'chnisato, when you enter the city, you recite to Hashem, shetachniseni likrach ze leshalom. That you should... Well, this is going to be it really on the next opinion. Ben Azai Omer, Ben Azai says, Arba. He disagrees with the Tanna Kama. The first opinion said you should pray when you enter and pray when you exit. Ben Azai argues. He says you should pray 4 times. 2 when you enter and 2 when you exit. Because each time a person prays, he should thank Hashem for what he has done in the past and cry out for the future. So you're doubling it. The first opinion in the Mishnah said, Hashem, help me come in peace and leave in peace, right? But Ben Azai says you should also pray for having traveled in peace. So you pray for the past, you thank Hashem for the past, and you pray for the future. Let's see the rabbis explain what the prayers are according to Ben Azai. When you enter the city, you say, Hashem, help me enter the city in peace. When you enter, you say, I thank you, Hashem, that you allowed me to enter in peace. That's already 2 upon entering. To enter and once you entered. If you desire to leave, you say, Hashem allowed me to exit in peace. Once you exit, you say, I thank you, Hashem, that you allowed me to leave in peace. That's 2 again. The Rav says, why according to Ben Azai 4 prayers? You have to give thanks to Hashem for what the good that already has happened to you, and also pray for the future that you should have good as well. That's the opinions of the Mishnah. First rabbi says twice when you enter and exit. Ben Azai says 4 times. Twice when you enter, twice when you exit. Because you should always give thanks for what happened and prayer for the future. So when you enter, you say, Hashem, help me enter in peace. And now you thank Hashem for entering. When you leave, you say, Hashem, please let me leave in peace. And you thank Hashem for allowing you to have left once you leave. That is the end of tonight's Mishnah, Rabotai. Everyone should have a Erev Shabbat Shalom. Baruch Adonai Le'olam. Amen v'amen.